let's talk about Frozen now. Briefly, but it was notable that Frozen is now the 5th all-time biggest box office hit in history. It bumped Iron Man 3 down a rung to 6th place. What do you think it is ultimately about Frozen that has made it the cultural phenomenon that it is? I mean, they're still playing Let It Go on the radio, and I swear they're playing it more now than in November when the movie came out.
I think it is a very traditional Disney movie with a slight twist, but it's recognizable enough as a Disney movie that it is truly that, 4-quadrant movie that you're looking for. Like, people don't feel dragged to that movie.
No.
Like, it's like they go, maybe people went begrudgingly, but then really liked it. I've known a bunch of dudes who were like, resist Frozen, and they see it and they're like, I'm going to buy the soundtrack later. It's like
they're driving home singing Let It Go.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think it's got that appeal, but it also, because the reason it's made so much money is the repeat views from kids and families.
Yeah.
Just so many, and it's a phenomenon at schools. Like, you talk to people who have kids in school, and they're like, all these kids talk about is Frozen. And I think it's a couple of factors. I think it's that traditional fairy tale with a tweak. I think it's the fact that you have two princesses, two princesses, double princess action. Everybody loves everybody loves a Disney princess, right? And double Disney princess is even better. Right. I really think the songs awesome. You know, they're on the radio. People get curious about that. They're like, oh, hey.
And all the characters, Elsa gets all like the press, and she's the image that is always used, rightfully so. She's great, but Olaf the snowman,
awesome.
I mean, even the reindeer. What is it, Sven?
Amazing.
I loved him. It's funny. It does seem like Anna is the least memorable of all of them, even though she's perfectly fine character and it's Kristen Bell. But it's just kind of strange that everyone's remembering everybody else but the protagonist.
But you want a movie that has that many endpoints, right? You want a movie that has, like, Anna's fine. Like, I'm sure Anna is some people's favorite character. But then, you have people who really love Olaf. People who really love Sven, or the dynamic between him and, I forget the dude's name. It's terrible I reviewed it.
I almost said Heinrich. It's not
Let's
that.
call him Jimmy.
Hans,
I think.
Yeah, I think it is Hans as a nod to Hans Christian Andersen.
So, and then you have Elsa, and Elsa's, awesome and all that. So, and the only characters I think really get lost in the shuffle are the gnomes. You kind of don't think about the gnomes too much.
Yeah, I totally forgot about them. Somehow I keep thinking they were in Brave.
Right.
Maybe it's because it's rocks and they're mossy and it just looks like it belongs in Scotland.
Yeah, they were like kind of the one forgettable element to that movie for me. But like, I just think it's a phenomenon, and when something starts rolling like that, it becomes bigger than it is. It happened with Minecraft a little bit, where like Minecraft just reached this fever pitch with kids and families and stuff, and now it's now so many people know about it, and it perpetuates itself.
Well, let me ask you last point about Frozen, but do you think, was Frozen the Disney movie that somehow captured the Pixar magic? Because to me, it's a weird thing. Disney owns Pixar, but Frozen, and Wreck-It Ralph, but Frozen seemed to capture that sort of the zeitgeist the way that Pixar movies, until very recently, used to.
Yeah, and I don't think Pixar's like lost their way entirely or anything like that. I think I really do think that, yes, but it started with Tangled. You could see it with Tangled, and then I remember having conversations with people where I was trying to like convince them that Tangled was really good. Like, I was like, oh, hey, no, it's kind of a return to form. Like, they're getting back to what we love, you know?
Yeah.
And then with Wreck-It Ralph felt just purely like a Pixar movie to me. It could have been released by Pixar, and I would have been like, oh, and a lot of people, I wrote the review for that, a lot of people in the comments were like, trying to correct each other and be like, this isn't Pixar.
Well, it's just like
Pixar.
Planes as well. Like, everyone thought that was bad. I'm not saying Planes was not good, but
Planes wasn't Pixar. It was the opposite,
Right, but people, it is strange how are people getting better at Pixar's game than Pixar is. I mean, I'm curious I think Inside Out, their movie that's coming out, I want to say next year, is I think that'll be their big return to form, because that one, it's all set within the mind of an adolescent girl, and they've shown the same sequence in different forms of being finished at different events. and it's hilarious. I mean, it looks like it's a really unique thing, and it's from I believe it's the same director, Pete Docter, who did Monsters Inc. and Up.
Yeah.
So that guy's got the touch.
I was the first person who interviewed him about Up ever.
No kidding.
Yeah. At New York Comic Con, they brought some footage, and I talked to him, and he was like,
right.
"Yeah."
I remember they showed the first 45 minutes. We were all teary-eyed because nobody was expecting that opening scene.
Yeah. And I was like, it was just bizarre. He's a great director.
And he's a swell fella.
He's a really nice guy. All those Pixar guys are really, really nice people.
Yeah, Lasseter's a good.
All those guys. I have some friends who worked at Pixar, and like to a person, they don't hire anybody awful. They're just so nice across the board.